most country in the world will have Independence Day, and I think Hungary, Indonesia, and Malaysia share the same month, August. Yeah, so this kid said, like, it was difficult to socialize with the friends in the new school, and after 3 days, he decided to quit.
Well, all of Dr. Richard's money down the drain.
Many kids these days, they want to be influencers, they want to be YouTubers, they want to be TikTokers, but is it good investment
No.
from Gen Z point of view?
We have like thousands of views on each of our videos and we're only paid $20.
Right? Are you Petreny?
Oh yeah, it's August 17th, the Independence Day for Indonesia.
Right. Dirgahayu Republik
Indonesia.
Merdeka. Can you tell me the history of Indonesia as far as you know? You don't learn about it, do you?
No, we mostly learn about global history, like international and transnational events.
But how far do you know about Indonesian history around the independence time? Do you know the time, the year?
August 17th, 1945.
Yeah, what happened in the world, the global event that happened back then? What
World
happened
War
in the
II.
world? World War II. So how did it affect Indonesia?
Well, Japan, who currently, well, not currently anymore, but at the time they owned Indonesia.
They said so. They claimed.
Yeah, they had to surrender to the Allies. And then eventually Sukarno and Muhammad Hatta just came in and declared Indonesia as an independent country.
That's what you learned?
I also remember I was researching on a bunch of websites and I found like a picture of an Australian newspaper which had a section on Indonesia becoming independent.
So there were two groups in Second World War, right? Allies and against? Yes, against. How do they call it in English?
Fascists. Warsaw Pact?
Warsaw Pact came after that, right? But German Nazi, they had friends, their own group. Do you know who they were? Italy.
Oh.
You didn't learn about this?
No, I didn't.
Japan, Hungary, Austria.
Oh.
No? Yeah. So they were in one group. The other group was
USA.
Allies plus Russia. Because Allies won, then they assumed that places which were occupied by Japan
could be owned by the Allies.
Right.
But then they wanted to stop that and they were just fed up with being owned by everyone, so they
You mean those countries?
Indonesia.
Yeah, so that's what happened. So Japan left Indonesia, but who occupied Indonesia before Japan? Do you know?
The Dutch company VOC.
Well, back then it didn't exist anymore. It's just the Netherlands. You know what happened?
Because the VOC eventually failed and they had to give their assets to the Dutch government.
Yeah.
And then the government colonized India.
Yes, before the independence, yes. But after 45, we are talking about after 45. The Netherlands wanted to claim Indonesia again. Yeah. So Japan left. Then Sukarno declared independence.
And then the Netherlands
came back. Yeah, so
that's not very good time.
They didn't want to acknowledge our independence.
Yeah.
So there was battle against
the Indonesian Revolution. I remember the Australian newspaper actually hinted maybe there's still tension between Indonesia and the Netherlands, because I remember during the section about the Independence Declaration of Independence, I remember it said that it was still unknown whether the Netherlands acknowledged Indonesia as like its own thing, and then eventually they didn't. So the newspaper was kind of lied.
Yes, so although in the world, Second World War was over, but in Indonesia we had war against the Netherlands because they didn't want to accept our independence. And it went on until 1949.
Oh yeah.
But did you hear that their prime minister, he apologized that his country colonized Indonesia, and then they accepted that Indonesian independence was 1945, but then he resigned.
Oh.
Well, you know, history is always
Written by the winners and stuff.
I mean, yeah, it's different depending on who writes it. So I guess in their point of view, it wasn't independence. It was like revolution, or I don't know. Like we rebel against them.
Maybe it was like rebelling against all the people that just thought, oh, but Indonesia is ours. It's not independent.
Yeah, there are always two sides of the story. For us, it's colony.
Oh yeah. You mentioning the Dutch PM's apology to Indonesia, that reminds me. I remember I was searching it up on Wikipedia, and I remember hearing that in 2013 they also apologized about this.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I did.
Like they acknowledged that Indonesia deserved to be its own thing.
Really?
Yeah.
And then what happened? Well, I think
It didn't-
people, yeah.
It didn't really cover the reception very much, but regardless, I kind of respect the fact that they were able to make an apology, because normally colonizers don't tend to apologize, so I respect them for
Yeah,
that.
it's true. It's true. It still doesn't erase what happened to us.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's a start, I guess.
At least they owned up. But then again, these people who apologize are not the people who oppressed us.
Yeah.
They are different
it's-
generations.
Yeah.
Although it's the same country. Yeah. There are always two sides of the story. So for us, it's oppression, colonization brings suffering. For them, maybe, well, actually not maybe. I'm sure it brings wealth, because VOC back then was the biggest. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The
Uh-huh.
biggest company in the world, which is like Apple nowadays.
No, it's more like X. Twitter. Company formerly known as Twitter.
I was thinking of telur
Oh.
X.
X.
Telur. Oh yeah.
No, it's the letter X. They rebranded Twitter. Elon Musk.
I thought you were kidding. I mentioned Apple. You mentioned X.
No, I mean that like, cause Elon Musk
Really?
he rebranded Twitter to X, and then he like destroyed Twitter Incorporated and replaced it with X Corp.
But is that the biggest company nowadays?
I think so. I mean, it's
Apple.
owned by the richest
The richest person.
Yeah,
ever.
richest man on earth.
But I think it's Apple. I don't know. We can
Maybe.
check. We can Google it.
I don't
later.
know. I don't invest in stocks.
Yeah. Back to Indonesia, VOC back then. For some people, maybe they brought wealth, benefit. Well, for us, it brought suffering, right? Don't you have a friend who said that VOC brought lots of improvement in their country from South Africa?
yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
have to mention the name. Just.
But yeah, I remember he also talked about about the whole thing about how they brought people from Indonesia as slaves to work for VOC there in South Africa. So I think colonization is bad.
Of course, I do think so. That's why we have Independence Day. Actually, most country in the world will have Independence Day, and I think Hungary, Indonesia, and Malaysia share the same month, August.
Hungary,
Too.
Indonesia, and Malaysia.
Well, in Hungary, it's not really the Independence Day. How do they call it?
Revolution.
The crowning of Saint Stephen.
Oh,
If I'm not mistaken.
I think that was like when Hungary was founded.
Was it when Hungary was founded? The
I don't know.
first king was
Yeah.
crowned.
I don't
by
know
the-
much about the beginnings of Hungary, but I think it was founded by the Huns. I'm not so sure. And then it became Hungary, so it's like a tribute to the Huns.
But actually, there was no country when the Huns were there. Attila, the Hun. It wasn't a country. It was just a tribe, the Hun.
And then it became a country from there, I think. No?
And then they kind of like extinct. And then there were lots of tribes replacing them. So I don't remember the names. And then there were Magyar people. The Magyar people became bigger and bigger, and they made a country which was called Magyarország.
And then that translates to Hungarian land. Hungarian land.
English-speaking people.
Yeah, Hungary. But it actually translates to
Magyarország.
Hungarian
They
country.
think that it's Hungary, the land of Huns, but it's the land of Magyar.
Hungarian.
Yeah, that's what happened back then. Do you like history?
It's pretty interesting, but at the same time, I mean, we're literally writing history like right now, so now all we have to focus on is preserving it for the future generations, and I guess that's why there are stuff like archives on the internet.
And back then, I think historian would have to write every event, things like
While now, I don't know, but like it feels like there's not much effort going into preserving the story of the current
that.
generation.
You think so?
Yeah,
Because it's
Yeah.
the current event.
so I feel like now, thousands of years from now, archaeologists will have to. Thousands of years from now, historians, not archaeologists, they'll have to like put together a bunch of TikTok compilations. What the heck is a TikTok? And they're gonna have to like look at the implications and read the fine prints of the captions just to understand the current events. Because yeah, people don't really seem to cover things as directly as they used to. So like, who keeps a diary now?
Nobody.
Yeah, who blogs?
Nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
I did too back then before having you, then I quit. Nobody reads blogs anymore.
Yeah,
They watch vlogs.
vlogs. Everything is a video.
Everything is video, but in a sense, it's easier to record everything instead of writing.
Because if you
yeah.
write it, it's harder to like actually
Imagine.
visualize.
Yes, it's good like that, but I think like we are flooded with all kinds of information. Some of them are good, most of them are junk.
I don't want to offend Mr. Beast fans, but YouTube went under like some sort of Mr. Beastification where everyone just started making videos similar to Mr. Beast. Like they all became the same. I trapped 200 people in this Minecraft SMP.
and then everybody makes it.
Yeah, so now it's not really very unique anymore. So the world's pretty much uniform.
I don't know, everything is so fast. Just since
Yeah.
you were born, I think everything is so fast. Before that, the world was just super slow. I didn't have mobile phone in high school. And then in university, there was
Nokia.
Nokia and then Siemens and I don't know, all kinds of things. And then
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
everything is so fast and there are so much information that there's not enough time to digest.
Yeah.
Everything.
So it's like, I don't know, but I've had that feeling since I turned, I think, 12. Like now life's starting to really speed up and it's just, before you can process one thing, another happens. And it's just
what you
overload.
knew 5 years ago may not be relevant 5 years from now.
In fact, nowadays that's actually guaranteed. I think it's that technology is part of it. Like, just a few years ago, we had the iPhone. We had an iPhone that had a home button on the bottom that you could press. Now you have to swipe up to go to the home screen. And they're also introducing this ugly looking notch into phones. And and phones are bigger and stuff, and it's like information overload.
In the past, everything was clear because source of information were not that
Word
many.
of mouth.
Also, usually, there were reporters who reported the news. Only those people had the power to write something or make video or something.
And now anybody.
And
So-
you don't know whether you can trust. In the past, if a country colonized another country, it's bad, done. That's it. But now you see Russia attacked Ukraine, and there are so many different opinions about that.
Yeah, the world is it's more divided than ever now.
How do you know which one is right or wrong? How do you know whether the source of information is legit?
By looking at other sources, maybe. News channels on YouTube, they make like billions of dollars per year, probably. Citation needed.
Probably.
That means there's lots of them, because it's like a field where anyone could make like a quick buck just commentating about what's happening, whether it's like allegations against YouTubers committing crimes or something bigger like the recent Twitter X rebrand and Facebook being Meta and stuff like that. With platforms like YouTube on the rise, anonymity is becoming easier than ever. So what I'd recommend is look at multiple sources and also look at other things that those sources have reported on.
How about your peers? Do they believe in fake news and stuff like that? Or they just don't care?
They just digest whatever they can. They use TikTok. No. I abandoned it about 2 years ago, and now it's actually happy.
Without TikTok?
Yeah, because TikTok, if you thought YouTube was clickbaity, watch TikTok. Cause
Even more.
It's even more clickbaity, and every video is usually under 60 seconds. OMG, did you see this influencer doing this on the street? It just doesn't feel very reliable, even if it's actually true.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to describe it, but it's just too exaggerated to be true.
That's why they said that Gen Z is very instant. So they don't like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. So most Gen Z kids, Zoomers, they have short attention span.
Yeah. And short form video content is to blame.
Yes.
In fact, you're kind of at fault too, because you make YouTube shorts. Yeah, I feel like YouTube shorts, Vine was okay, for example. Vine was like the father of every short form video app there is, like TikTok, Byte, YouTube Shorts, stuff like that. Blame Vine, but Vine was a bit different because it was more focused on pushing the limits. Later short form apps, they give you a built-in video editor that had text and effects and GIFs you could paste onto the video. Vine only had video cutting / splicing.
That's all.
Yeah,
so very
you had to get creative. I remember the most popular types of Vines were, without a doubt, skits. Essentially, Vine.
Funny skits.
Funny skits. Usually they focused around wordplay. Now, Vine was a lot more restrictive. Not only because of the video editing's restrictions, but also because the length. Videos could only be 6.5 seconds or shorter.
Oh my gosh. What can you do?
make a really funny skit at breakneck speed. And I remember it was such a fad. It was such a fad, and I think Vine made the 2010s even better.
And now what happened?
Now the video editing is like too easy to insert into YouTube Shorts or TikTok, so people are taking advantage of that, and now TikTok is becoming just as, if not more, clickbaity than YouTube is.
Plus, I think there are lots of TikTok hacks that don't actually work. So I think it's just
That's an effective clickbait.
Yeah. So just for fun, you don't
Yeah.
really have to believe in it. I often watch Indonesian YouTuber called Dr. Richard Lee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, recently he invited an Indonesian kid, well, of course, a kid, 17 years old, high schooler, so just a few years older than you. And he has been viral on TikTok because his parents abandoned him. So, like, his dad went to jail, and his mom left him to remarry.
What? That's
then,
cool.
Yeah, and then just left him with his grandma. So he's been living with his grandma since he was small, and his grandma is old, so she can't work, she doesn't have a job. So while going to school, attending school, he needs to pay for daily life. Imagine, like electricity bill, school tuition, food every day. So sometimes he didn't even have money. He borrowed from relatives or from friends, whoever wanted to give him some money. And he cleans his school because he will earn 50,000 rupiah per month, which is $5, 5 SGD, Singapore dollars. I think per month. 5. I mean, how much is your McDonald's meal? 17 ringgit?
70 ringgit, I think.
17. Well, 70 is for us. For you, it's 17 ringgit, one burger and
let me guess, is 50,000 rupiah like 10, 12 ringgit?
let me switch it up. 50,000 is $5. 5 times 3, 15. Yeah, 15 ringgit per month. He earns that much. Can you imagine how tough his life? And then Dr. Richard asked, so how do you earn money other than that? He teaches kids to read Quran. He tutor kids, math or whatever. And then despite all these things, he still ranked number 1 at his school. That means he's a smart kid. Right? He sounded like a very genuinely kind person. So in the podcast, of course, I don't know him, but that's my impression. But then again, he's viral on TikTok, so there should be a reason. I mean, maybe he's really smart in editing, I don't know. But so anyway, I was impressed, and Dr. Richard was impressed too. So he asked, do you want to be a doctor one day? Then he said yes. But he doesn't have money to continue to
Medical
university.
school.
Yeah, medical school is super expensive. I think that's the most expensive. Yeah, so Dr. Richard would pay him university, the boarding house, the tuition. He will buy laptop, brand new laptop, dorm with aircon, and he will pay all his debt from because he owned lots of people money.
Yeah.
And then he will give money to his grandma every month, so they will live happily ever after. But he just needs to study. What do you think? Fair or not?
Fair. I mean, kind of unfair because like Dr. Richard, he's paying all this, and literally the only thing that the boy has to give him in return is just studying. That's it.
Exactly.
I mean,
so it's not fair for Dr. Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dr. Richard is a very rich person, so he owns lots of what is it? He's a dermatologist or what? Aesthetic doctor. A doctor who fix your skin and your that kind of things. He has lots of beauty clinics in Indonesia, so he's super duper rich, but still that's a very nice of him to do that. You don't need to work, you don't need to clean, you don't need to do anything, just study and be a doctor. That's all he asked. So if it were you, you were given two options. You go back to your village, clean the classroom and get $5 and owe money to your neighbors and give tutoring to other students and earn, I don't know how much, maximum $100 maximum maybe, but living cost is a lot more than $100, right? Or you study really hard to become a doctor, but everything will be paid for you. Which one would you choose?
I guess studying really hard. I mean, if you want to be a doctor, then it's realistic. I mean, you could study that hard if you really were passionate.
Yeah, because you were the first rank at school. That means you're smart enough, right?
Wait, but I think I know where the story is going. Did the kid have like a villain arc or something and then get like really angry about something?
People's impression about him, you lost your parents at very young age. What could be harder than that?
Yeah.
Nothing. You had to work to live, to stay alive. If you don't work, you will be starving. Studying is a piece of cake. Compared to living without parents, without money. Dr. Richard moved him to a better school which can provide him enough education so that he will be able to continue to be a doctor. School in a small town and reputable school in bigger city, of course, they are two different things.
Yeah.
You may be the best in your village school,
but in the reputable school, standards are higher.
Yes, maybe because, well, simply the education system is different too. So it looks like he suffered. He said he couldn't adjust. You've been a new student in a new school in a new country yourself. So can you adjust after 1 week in a new environment?
Yeah, I guess.
You can. Yeah, you're good. Even academically,
I moved a lot in my life.
And you're okay. Well, it's not always easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
There were difficulties. What difficulties did you face as a new student in a new school, even in a new continent?
Trying to interact with others, maybe, because they knew each other already, so...
That was difficult for you. Not to mention the lesson. No, you had no problem with the lesson.
Yeah.
You're okay. Yeah, so this kid said, like, it was difficult to socialize with the friends in the new school. And after 3 days, he decided to quit.
Well, all of Dr. Richard's money down the drain.
So the thing is, he quit. And then Dr. Richard was shocked, right? So if you were Dr. Richard, what would you do? Advise him, right?
Yeah.
This is a young kid. He doesn't know how the world goes. Of course, he will be frustrated in the new school. But please, be patient. Everything will get better. Try to adjust. Try to get along well with your friends.
And was this where the kid's villain arc started or something?
He left the dorm. He went back to his village. So Dr. Richard was upset. I think he has the right to be upset.
Because he paid the kid.
Yes.
Why is the kid going on a villain arc now?
Yeah, so he asked, if you want to return, please return the money. I have paid you $5,000.
And did he not return the money?
He could not return the money because he didn't have money. But Dr. Richard didn't mean to ask for money. It's just his way of, okay, I don't have the money, then I will continue studying. That's what he thought this kid would do. But instead of that, he said, okay, I don't have the money, then I will go to jail because of this, like my dad. His dad was in jail. So he's more willing to go to jail rather than returning to studying. You understand? If you were him, which one would you choose?
That I still would have picked going to
study.
School.
You just have to study.
I get that he didn't know how it works, like adjusting to a new school.
But after 3 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Only 3 days.
That's not long enough for like evaluating.
Yes.
oh, is the community good? Oh, are the lessons being taught well? Oh,
Exactly. So, as a new student, how long did it take for you until you can finally say, okay, I'm happy in this new school? How
3 days.
you?
Well,
For you,
kinda.
here?
For me, yeah.
Yeah,
It took
you
me 3 days, and by then I already knew everyone's name.
See? So it's not that
Yeah.
difficult. Nothing is more difficult than losing your parents
Yeah.
and this kind of
If
hardship.
if you cannot adjust to a new environment, stay there longer.
Eventually.
Yeah. So unless you somehow miraculously just snapped into the new community like I did, yeah, you're gonna need way more than 3 days to
course,
decide, buddy.
Yeah, so he returned to become a TikToker.
Oh my gosh.
TikToker,
That's, in my opinion, that's kind of a scummy business.
Many kids these days, they want
Yeah.
to be influencers, they want to be YouTubers, they want to be TikTokers, but is it good investment
No,
for
no,
your
no, 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 no,
future
no, 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 no.
from Gen Z point
I
of
mean,
view?
it works as a good side job. I mean, but then again, we have like thousands of views on each of our videos, and we're only paid $20.
Right? It's
Like,
not
it's
enough.
it's not even minimum wage, bro. Come on.
So I think becoming a doctor is still better
Yeah.
investment. Education is still better investment than, okay, now I'm viral, I will earn money from TikTok. It's not forever. It won't last forever. Okay, thank goodness you understand these kind of things. I was worried, like,
Yeah.
are you like those kids out there? Many kids dream to become, TikTokers,
Yeah.
influencers. We don't know this job will still exist in 5 years later. We don't know. I mean, things come and go so fast these days. Vine is gone. That's why I just treat it as a hobby.
Yeah, and I think I know a bunch of small YouTubers actually, and I think they make really, really good content. Like those, I trapped 200 people in this Minecraft server. Let's see if they start fighting, and the winner will get $100. Every other person on the world has made that kind of content. Like, come on, be more original. Like those smaller YouTubers, they make original content.
I think they just aim to get more views. Now YouTube video value is calculated by the view number.
No, not anymore actually. It's based on how long people watch your views.
Oh, really?
Like videos, yeah. So if you put that really cheesy intro with like, I did this and the winner will get this, then there you go. Retention skyrockets and you get millions.
But then as soon as they realize it's just clickbait,
Yup.
they will stop watching.
The retention will plummet
Yeah.
and no revenue. Yeah, nobody watches videos after a minute nowadays.
Exactly.
So they make the intro stimulus overload, and then the rest of the video is
They
just
don't watch.
normal content.
So for me, I don't have that many views, but I think people watch most of what I make.
Yeah. And I
So-
think you make pretty good content, at least compared to those like uniform robot NPC content creators.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, it's been a long time. I think I need to cook dinner.
Wait, hold on. Let me check. Sorry. Behind the scenes, Maad. Oh my gosh, it's been 54 minutes.
Okay, time.
What kind of sorcery is this? Alright. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed watching content that isn't produced by an NPC content farm, then watch our content. I promise you, please. We're human. Thank you for watching. I hope this video is long enough for mid-roll ads, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.